You didn't like that?
Not one bit.
That's unfortunate. I was testing out that voice. I thought it was gonna be solid.
Yeah. Try it again.
And welcome to the Next Man Up Sports Podcast.
All right, what up, people? Welcome back to the Next Man Up Sports Podcast. I am half of the dynamic duo that is Bobby G and Shaka.
How y'all doing?
All right, you got a blue martini there?
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. I mean, ain't been there in a minute.
It's Friday, motherfucker.
Speaking
oh my
of,
God, let's go.
Yeah.
Please, by the way.
No.
That's actually a hell of a good fucking idea.
If you ever visit Las Vegas, make sure to hit up Blue Martini in Town Square.
Town Square. Apparently we're giving out free promos, but hey, fuck it if it gets y'all out here. I mean, if there's not enough other reasons to come to Vegas.
All right, so let's get into it. This week we got our Week 3 preview, picks and such. Fantasy picks of the week. Last week we just did starters. Today we're going to do sit 'em and start 'em.
Yep.
And we'll get into a little bit of NBA talk. There's some noise going on that front with Ben Simmons and
Just a couple things to go over. Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins. Really the Warriors in general, or the city of San Francisco.
Mm.
You know what's going on over there. They bougie. That's what it is. They
Of
bougie.
course they are.
They bougie.
It's like the second most expensive city in the country. Of course they bougie.
All right, so
They think that they Paris and shit.
And kick it off with fantasy start 'em and sit 'em, man. Three starts for this upcoming week. 3 sit-ems. You want to kick it off?
Sure. I think you went last time, so I'll go this time. That's
All right.
fair. I'm gonna go with my stardoms first.
Okay.
I don't feel like any of these are obvious. 2 of them are gonna be homer picks, but just bear with me. I genuinely think that you guys should go after. If you don't have them on your roster, you can pick them up off the waiver wire, and that's Cortland Sutton for the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
He balled out last week. He had like 150 yards, racked up like I think it was like 18, 19 points in fantasy.
Yeah, good game.
And he's going to be going up against an even worse defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. So and again, Teddy Bridgewater has been showing that he's consistently able to get the ball moving around, and especially getting it now to Cortland Sutton, who looks like he's back to being the guy that we all know that he can be.
Right.
Because, he had like that first week where he was kind of getting used to it, and then he showed everything that he is last week. So, again, he's going up against a weak defense in the New York Jets. If you have him, pick him up. He'd be a good option. I think he's going to eat. I think he's going to have a good week in fantasy.
Right.
My second pick,
Me too.
keeping it in the AFC West, and not a team that you'd expect, but a guy that I think that you could throw him in your flex.
Okay.
And he'll get you a lot of points again because of the matchup, and that would be Henry Ruggs III from the Vegas Raiders.
Interesting.
Because again, they're going up against the Miami Dolphins. I know that they have a decent defense. Like they're not slouches on defense, but I like him in the slot. I like him against that scheme. And again, he's had 2 solid weeks, and I think he's just going to continue to improve. And I think against that Miami defense, I think that he'll, again, if you put him in the flex, it's not a big risk, but I think he can pick up some surprise points for people.
Okay.
And then the final one, my final stardom, is a toss-up between either one. Either one, again, is going to be a good pick. Whether you want to go with the Arizona defense, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars and that abysmal offense, who just got their ass handed to them by Denver. You know, they held Trevor Lawrence to was like 2 picks, 14 for 33, like 130 yards.
It was a rough day.
And he's about to go up against the Cardinals defense that has shown that they're up to the task as well. So
they're getting it done.
The Cardinals would be a good pick on defense, or my other toss-up, again, 2 weeks in a row. I was right last week, and I'm right this week, the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos were one of the highest scoring defenses last week. Like, pick them up again, because, again, the Denver Broncos are going to be facing who? The shit-ass offense that is the New York Jets.
Yeah, but that's your surprise team.
It's supposed to be my surprise team.
They could surprise you.
They could surprise me. But that's what I'm saying, is that they'd have to. It would have to be a surprise. Otherwise, look for the Denver Broncos defense and fantasy points to eat off that New York Jets offense. Hell, against the Patriots, Zach Wilson threw 4 interceptions. So, he gonna have some problems with the Denver defense, and Justin Simmons, Kareem Jackson, Von Miller, full of dark, on and on. He gonna have a problem. So again, either one of those, again, the Denver pick might seem like a homer. It's like, look at the matchup. Look at who they're going up against. Like, look at the Cardinals defense versus the Jacksonville offense. Look at the Denver defense versus the New York Jets offense. You're going to be hard-pressed to find other matchups that are going to have so many opportunities for the defense to pick up interceptions, to keep low yardage, to, potentially force defensive touchdowns. Like, if you want, it's the number 1 and number 2 rookie quarterbacks going up against 2 really good defenses. So those would be my starters. Before we get to the sit-ems, I want to hear your starters.
Starters for this week, a little bit different. I'm gonna do not a repeat, but if anybody saw the Bills Dolphins games last week and the fantastic job Buffalo did pitching the shutout, I would start them again. They got the Washington football team. Their offense isn't that fantastic. I think the Dolphins' offense is actually stronger than the Washington football team's offense. So with that being said, they could potentially pitch another shutout. At best, I think they'll hold them to under 10. And so I'm going to go there. As far as the defense, another start, I'm going to go with Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, tight end for the Ravens. They're playing the Detroit Lions this weekend. So we all know what the Lions are capable of on defense.
Yeah.
We all know Lamar Jackson loves to throw to the tight end. It's like he can only throw to tight ends. So I look for Andrews to put up big numbers this weekend. And I'm actually going to stick in the tight end area.
You start 2 tight ends.
2 tight ends.
Okay.
Even though I feel this one's kind of a no-brainer. He's a must-start every week. Travis Kelce against the LA Chargers.
I was going to pick Kelce.
Yeah.
I initially was thinking about him. So
Yeah.
that's a solid pick.
Yeah, this could be a potentially high-scoring game. Could be in the 30s and 40s, both teams. So I look for Kelce to get loose a lot. Sit him.
All right, so I'm going to just start the list off with what I'm sure is going to be controversial. But my first sit-em for this coming week is Alvin Kamara.
That's interesting.
He underperformed last week and the week before, and going up against your Bill Belichick, New England, in New England.
Yeah.
And again, Jameis Winston went back to looking like the scrub that he is. And he's not smart enough to realize to get the ball enough to get Alvin Kamara, and he's not good enough to rack up a lot of those PPR yards that people, or PPR points that people want.
Right.
And you get from Alvin Kamara. Jameis Winston's not going to be able to make those connections happen. I think it's a high risk to start Alvin Kamara this week.
That's
you
very
can move
fair.
him into your flex if you want, but that's, again, I would go away from Alvin Kamara this week.
Okay.
If I'm wrong on that, I'm fucking wrong. But I just I don't like the matchup. I don't like what I've been seeing on their offense. My second sit-em would be the probably another controversial one, the Rams defense. Because, again, the Rams defense has not shown either of us that they're as cohesive or as up to speed as we were all expecting them to be.
Right.
They've shown a lot of, as you were saying before, chinks in the armor.
Yeah, getting off to a very slow start.
And with that slow start, despite being 2-0, you're giving up a lot of points per game, and now you're about to go up against Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, better than anybody other than maybe Peyton Manning, will find every one of those fucking chinks in the armor. And if you have them, he gonna find them, and he gonna exploit them. And
it's true.
So I'm like, this is a toss-up game for me as far as my prediction goes. But as far as fantasy goes, I don't think it's going to be a good week for the Rams. Okay. I think going up against Tom Brady, they're going to give up a lot of yards and a lot of scores.
That's all fair.
And my final one would be, if you have him as your quarterback, I'd sit Joe Burrow. Again, that offensive line for Cincinnati has not been looking good. He's been getting hit a ton again. And he's going up against Pittsburgh. Okay. And as much as I don't like Pittsburgh's offense, their defense is still legit. You still got TJ Watt, and I can just stop there.
Right.
So
Thief.
I'm like, I think that Joe Burrow's gonna have a bad day.
Okay.
He's gonna have and they're in Pitt. I believe that they're in Pittsburgh. So I'm like, he's gonna have a bad day. As far as fantasy goes, I just don't think that he'll have the standout, 300 plus, 400 plus yard game, 3 touchdown plus yard. I see him throwing probably at least 2 interceptions. So that would obviously hurt his numbers. So I would sit Joe Burrow. That would be my third and final one for this week that I would sit.
I was actually going to say Joe Burrow.
There we go.
But I have a backup. So, all right. So the first one is kind of not really a specific player.
What?
It's not a specific player.
Okay.
Sit anybody that you have on your roster in the Bears-Browns game.
Sit
Anybody.
everybody.
If you have anybody in that game.
On either side.
On either side. Sit them. I'm a Browns fan. I think we're going to win the game. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But let's be real. The Bears defense is serious.
Yeah. And the Browns defense is serious because I wanted to say initially David Montgomery, but then I was like, oh, nope, Myles Garrett.
Right.
Back up.
And you have a rookie quarterback starting for the Bears. So it's like, I don't see anybody on the Bears offense getting off. And potentially, I don't see anybody on the Browns offense really getting off like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have decent games enough to win, but like I don't see Baker going for 300. I don't think Kareem or Chubb will get over 90 yards. Combined, we'll have a good rushing game, but individually, as far as fantasy is concerned, I don't see that happening. Odell's supposed to play, but it's his first game back.
And it's against the Bears.
Exactly. We don't have juice, so it's like potential to be a really, really ugly game.
Yeah.
So if you have anybody offensively for the Bears or Browns, just sit them. Chalk it up this week. I'm gonna go 2-year game. I tell you, I had a backup for Joe Burrow. I'm gonna say go ahead and sit Najee Harris.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger may or may not play. He's a game time decision. Even with that, he can't push the ball down the field if he plays, which then makes teams focus on the run game. So I don't see Najee doing big things. If Ben doesn't play, you got Mason Rudolph, Dwayne Haskins, which again is going to make teams. It's going to make the Bengals focus on just stopping the run. So I don't see him having a lot of success. Number 3, I don't know why anybody would have this, so I'm gonna go 3A and 3B because this is kind of if anybody has the Detroit Lions defense, we shouldn't sit them. Lamar Jackson is going to put up about 400 total yards on offense.
The Detroit Lions defense in your fantasy football league, you should just quit. Why did you pick them?
Like I said, sometimes you forget picking players and it gets down and you're like, oh, I don't have a defense. Even if that's the only defense you have, just take the 0.
I mean, yeah, sometimes you can get lucky, but
nah, just take that 0. You ain't getting lucky. Lamar's going
because you don't want to get negatives,
right?
When they allow,
So 3B as to provide people with actual info. I'm gonna say go ahead and sit. And it's gonna be a surprise for some people, even though he's leading the NFL in passing right now. Sit Derek Carr. I do not see him racking up those numbers against the Dolphins.
Okay.
Even with the blowout last week to Buffalo, Josh Allen did not have a great game.
No, we talked about that. It was their offense wasn't super impressive.
Exactly, and Josh Allen is better than Derek Carr, and I really don't see him having. I don't know who won or lose. We'll get to that later, but performance-wise, I don't see Derek Carr having an amazing fantasy game.
Okay,
so that's the 3B.
All right. Well, those are our fantasy picks to try to help y'all out. If you're for whatever leagues you're in. Moving on to no. Oh, shout outs.
Yeah. One just popped in my head. That's why.
I don't have any, so go ahead.
Shout out to JJ Redick.
Oh, okay, yeah. Congrats on retiring.
Yeah, recently retired. He wasn't as hated as Christian Laettner.
Yeah.
But he was not liked much while he was at Duke. And he's another one of those guys that went to Duke that seemed like he was there for 100 years.
Yeah. Seemed like he was just always there.
Right. But JJ, definitely a very long career. I don't think a lot of people saw him having this long of a career.
I didn't think that he'd make it this long after, I want to say, maybe his 3rd or 4th year. He was really struggling. Because
he really wasn't a point guard, wasn't big enough to play the 2, and then kind of...
And he couldn't handle the ball at all, so he was just a specialist.
Yeah. And he was fortunate the game kind of changed during his career. It actually super benefited him.
Yeah, because then he became an asset.
Yeah.
So shout out JJ Redick. That's congrats on the retirement and all that. There was another guy that retired. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it was over this past weekend. He played The Jets, he was a linebacker because the Jets had lost their inside linebacker. So they signed this guy. He was drafted in like 2016, so he'd been in the league before. They signed him. He played 7 snaps in the Jets game and then retired. Not as like Devontae Davis, where he did it at halftime. But he literally only played 7 snaps in the game and announced his retirement the next day. So shout out to those 2 guys retiring because he figured out that playing even 7 snaps for the Jets was 7 too many this year. He was like, nah. I ain't. He's like, I'd rather stay at home.
Todd Davis.
Than be a Todd Davis.
Todd Davis. For the Giants.
No, it was the Jets.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, it was just this past weekend. I saw something about it. Anyway, moving on to the recap of the only game, the Thursday night football game, the Carolina versus Houston Texans game.
That'd be dope. 2 Thursday nights.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But yeah, so we had the Thursday night game with your dark horse team going up against the just worst team. And it kind of played out.
I don't think that anymore.
It kind of played out. Yeah, I was actually surprised by that. I was actually very surprised in the first half with that Texans defense. I don't know where if they fell asleep in the second half. But in that first half, I was thoroughly impressed with the Texans defense. Yeah. But hey, this is your dark horse team, so I'll let you go ahead and talk about them.
Panthers.
Fucking 3-0 bullshit.
I told everybody, your reasoning for the Broncos was my exact reasoning for the Panthers. And it's like, the only difference is I have slightly more faith in Sam Darnold than Teddy Bridgewater, obviously because Teddy Bridgewater was in that exact situation last season. He was the Panthers quarterback. And granted, he lost CMC, but Sam Darnold lost CMC last night and still managed. He lost him in a 1-point game and still was able to produce. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. Sam getting dirty. Lost his helmet on one of them, too. But, yeah, just like you said, the Texans defense is legit. To the point, I know we both had him last in our power rankings, but I definitely don't think they're last anymore. They definitely haven't risen from the basement, but I don't think they're dead last anymore. I think there's that spot's reserved for a different team.
The Jets?
Yeah.
The goddamn Jets.
Yeah, but Carolina looked good. It looked, seeing them face some adversity. It was like you say, it was a 7-6 game up until halftime, and then it's like Robitussin. Panthers just kind of wore on them, even without CMC. The backup running back, it was Chubba Hubbard.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about that guy.
Yeah,
they were saying he had a couple years ago, he had like a 2,000-yard from scrimmage season.
Yeah,
I'd never heard of him. If he did, all congrats to him. That would be a surprise to me. I'd never heard of him. Yeah, but he had a good game.
Yeah, 50,
there's no taking away from that.
11 carries, 52 yards.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold, again, threw for over 300 yards. Even though he didn't throw a touchdown, he ran for 2. Their defense is fast.
Which one?
Panthers.
Yeah.
Panthers defense is fast. They get after you. I know
they was lighting that boy up. I felt bad
especially
for that rookie, man.
In the fourth quarter.
It was lighting that boy up.
Yeah,
it was like they had 4 sacks. I know they had a forced fumble, but they called it an incompletion. It was a
fumble.
That
was a fumble.
They had the 4 sacks. They had like 10 quarterback hits. It was like 18 quarterback. Or it was like 21 quarterback hurries. It was like they were fucking him up.
Held him to under 200 total yards.
Yeah, like that boy was.
Granted,
that's a bad entrance to the NFL. Like, that's not on his fault. Like, it's not his fault, but it's just like, I don't think he knew what he was signing up for. And I got to comment on that because there's somebody else way further down this list that made me fucking laugh my ass off. Actually, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it now.
Okay,
because it's the same shit. Like, that boy was not ready for how fast the Panthers were. So the fucking quote of the week that I loved hearing was Urban Meyer, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, got caught on a hot mic talking to Vic Fangio, the head coach of the Broncos, after the game. And he was like, man, this shit is like playing Alabama every week. Yeah, motherfucker. Like, this is the fucking league. What are you talking about? You thought you was going to be playing against what? Like Pittsburgh? Not Pittsburgh Steelers, like Pitt Panthers. Like, no, motherfucker. There ain't no Ole Miss over here. This is the league.
Yeah. It is.
I'm dying. He's like, it's like playing Alabama every week. I'm like, bro.
And it's just like, it's such a weird, that's a weird comment because Urban Meyer actually owned Alabama.
Yeah. And even at that, what's weird too is I'm like, bro, yeah, it's imagine every great player you've ever coached, Urban Meyer, every one of them at every position.
Right.
Over the course of your career. And if you added all those greatest players up, it's probably still only about half of the league you're going to be facing this season. So, yeah, buckle the fuck in.
Yeah.
If you're worried about it now, Urban Meyer, as I said with the fantasy picks, guys, please take the Arizona Cardinals. Because Urban Meyer's already shook. Now imagine him having to go up against Kyler Murray, running around, and DeAndre Hopkins and J.J. Watt.
I'll save it. I'll save it from where I actually have interesting.
Oh shit! Yeah, my bad. I'm jumping all the way ahead.
Nah, I got interesting thoughts on that game. Okay. But yeah, with the Panthers, two very interesting things about this game. Number one, they ran 70 plays to the Texans 49.
I think it was at one point they showed
time of possession.
I remember we were watching and they showed at one point it was the Panthers had 11 first downs and the Texans had only run 11 plays.
Yeah, they forced like 3 straight 3-and-outs.
It was brutal.
And the other thing is, which I didn't know, and I guess it'll stand through this week. The Carolina Panthers are the only team in the NFL who have not trailed in the first half.
Yeah. That's incredible.
That is sick.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, they've only given up, till last night, they had not given up a point in the first half. They were outscored their opponents, including last night, 40-6 in the first half. Now, the first quarter, it's not like first drive of the game.
Yeah.
At the entire 30 minutes of football in the first half, they've outscored opponents 40-6.
That's crazy. All right, so that was the recap on the Panthers and Texans. I mean, the Panthers are doing what they're supposed to do. You get gifted an easy schedule. Take advantage of it. The same thing I'm trying to, as you said, saying about my Broncos is take advantage of the easy schedule when you got it. A win is a win is a win.
That's first step to becoming a good team is winning the games you're supposed to win.
Yeah, and winning those things too, because again, we're both former athletes. Like, once you get on those win streaks, regardless if it's against shit teams, you just feel better.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's something that's like what they talk about with, I think Kobe was one of the best at it. MJ was one of the best at it. Steph Curry's one of the best at it. Like, if they're missing a lot of shots, what do? They go get fouled.
Yeah.
Or they try to get a layup.
Yeah,
just to see the ball go through.
Yep.
And then once you start seeing it go through, then it's 37 in a quarter. 81 in a game. What's good? So it's like, I think the same thing for the Panthers, the same thing for some of these teams like the Raiders, like the Broncos,
right,
like the Cardinals. It's like, cool, y'all can say something about who we're beating. We're fucking 2-0.
Yeah.
Going on trying to be, now with you guys 3-0, we're trying to be 3-0. The Raiders going to try to be 3-0. And it's like these teams that we have the talent, we have the tools, that you don't want us to get to 3-0 or 4-0 or 4-1, because then we're going to start getting cocky and we're going to start playing out of our minds and we can be one of those upset teams. So the Panthers could definitely do that, and now they're rolling, so they could be a problem. But let's move into the week 3 predictions. Let's see who's going to be more righter this week.
3, more righter.
The first game up is the Washington football team going up against Buffalo. How you see that game going down?
I got Buffalo. Buffalo taking it in a close game again, because the Washington football team, they have a defense and they'll come to play. But I see Buffalo winning it in a close 14-point win. Well, with the football team, they just don't have the offense, I don't think. Even though Heineke, he played a hell of a game last week.
Yeah, surprisingly. He played really well.
Yeah, but Buffalo's defense is a different monster than the Giants.
Yeah.
So I see this one playing out 31-17 Buffalo.
You have it you're a bit nicer than I am. I have it the same. I have it basically the same. I got it 31-10 for the same reasons. It's like I'm not as sold on Heineke as he was last week.
Right.
Because again, it's that drop off. Like, if he was playing a different team that wasn't the Buffalo Bills, I would give him more of a point spread.
Yeah.
But given that he's going up against the Bills, his and what'll be like his second start or whatever, I think it's gonna be. I think it'll be a rout.
Yeah.
Then after that, of course, we got your game, Chicago versus Cleveland, and Cleveland going up into the dog pound again.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts?
Browns, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know you got the Browns, but you said you had
The
We
Browns.
was talking about on the fantasy shit. He was like, well, just sit everybody. So elaborate to the people. More so than you did on the fantasy shit. Just elaborate to what you think this game is going to shape up and look like.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be an ugly game. It's going to be, obviously, we're going to try and establish the run. I think the Bears will try and establish the run and kind of try and protect Justin Fields because Myles Garrett is an absolute terror on rookie QBs. Just to give an example, in 2 games against Joe Burrow, he's already sacked him 4 times, including 2 strip sacks. Like, so he salivates at the sight of rookie QBs. Jadeveon, and again, I know a lot of people weren't hyped at the pickup because they're like, he doesn't get sacks. I was hyped because, he's not a pass rushing defensive end. He actually plays the run better. So with him stopping the run and Myles Garrett coming to get Fields, I don't see their offense doing much. But then on the other side, you got Khalil Mack and them boys, and they ain't no slouches. So I see it being a very ugly game. The weather in Cleveland this week it's been rainy. So don't know what it's going to be on Sunday, but I just see an ugly run-filled game. But I definitely think we control the game from beginning to end, and we'll take it, let's say 24-10.
Okay.
An ugly 24-10 win.
Ugly 24-10 win. And
ugly 24-10.
Rain and all of that in Cleveland. The dog pound's probably all sticky.
You don't sit down in the dog pound. You don't sit down, so it doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
No.
Never been. Unless y'all ever do something crap.
It's nothing like it.
I'll ever go.
So it's one of those things you got to do, man.
I might surprise you like a birthday.
Yankee Stadium. You got to go to Fenway.
You do not.
You got to go to Jerry's World. Yeah, you got to go to Dog Pound, man.
You got to go to Mile High.
No.
Got to go to Mile
Even
High.
though I've been there.
It's iconic.
It's not iconic. It absolutely is.
All right, so I have a Cleveland win as well. I have them winning 31-21. I don't think it'll be as ugly as you think it'll be.
Okay.
Agreeing with you, I think that Cleveland will control the game from start to finish, and I think that that's what it's going to be. That's why I think it'll be like last night, where if you watch the game,
right?
If you just saw the stat line, you'd be like, oh, 24-9, that wasn't close, and it was like, nah,
that wasn't right. Yeah.
Whereas on the flip side, if you look at not to go back to it again, but it was another low score, a game that looked closer than it was, like the Broncos over the Jags.
Right.
It's like, it ended 27-13. It's like, it was not even that close.
Right.
Like, it just looked that way at the end. I feel like that's going to be this game. I feel like Cleveland's going to be up the whole game, double digits, and I think that they finish it out 31-21. Again, the same things. I don't like, as much as I like David Montgomery this year, I don't think he's going to do well against Myles Garrett and against Jadeveon Clowney and against your guys' defense.
Yeah, they come. And ironically, I think the best thing that happened for us was our opening schedule. Losing to the Chiefs, which that plays for other reasons for me. But the fact that that Texans game is competitive, I think it woke those guys up. Yeah. Like, we got to get our shit together. We need, let's get right.
Yeah.
I think the defense.
We could have easily been 0-2.
Right. I think the defense gets right this week.
Yeah. So I got it 31-21. Then we got what again I think is the as we keep calling it, and there's no disrespect to anybody, but it is
the bye week.
The bye week. The Baltimore Ravens are on their week 3 bye against the Detroit Lions. I got it 42-7. I don't need to say anything else. I don't need to go into context. If you can't get what I'm saying by that, it's a bye week. I get it 42-7.
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I think the worst thing that happened to the Lions was the Ravens beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
Because I think had they lost to the Chiefs, I think this could have been a trap game of sorts, where they're coming down, they're down, and they could have slipped up. But because they beat the Chiefs, now they're coming in off a high. They probably feel like world beaters.
Yeah.
And Detroit, you just happen to be next.
You're just in the path.
So I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, Ravens all day. I'm gonna say 30. I'm gonna give them 10 points. 35-10.
I hope. I mean, what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that the Ravens get all that shit out their system, because we play them week 4. So I want them to go and just run through the Lions and then like come back down to earth and be like, all right, cool. We got it out of our system. Like we went and beat up the fourth grader. Like, now we can go back out on the playground and just, you know, be normal. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that they take out all that shit on the Lions. Moving on to another game that I think is it's a bye week for one of the teams. Arizona going into Jacksonville. How you got that game?
Arizona Jacksonville.
Yep.
Interesting thing. Here's my thoughts on that game. The Cardinals are going to win the game. I believe the Cardinals will win the game. I believe this will be the best game of the weekend to watch. Reason being, just like you were talking about Urban Meyer's comments, the Arizona Cardinals are the exact team Urban Meyer needs to face. Reason being, he's going against Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury runs an offense that is based off of Urban Meyer's offense from college. This is legitimately going to be the easiest scouting he's had so far as an NFL coach. He'll be able to put guys in positions to succeed. He'll be able to give Trevor good guidance against how to go against the defense. And I think it'll be an exciting game, but I think the Cardinals win it. I'm going to say 37-30 in Trevor Lawrence's best performance to date.
That's a lot of confidence.
Yeah,
that's a lot of confidence in a playbook.
But I think this game will give Urban and Trevor the confidence going forward.
There's a lot of confidence in X's and O's on paper.
Yeah, he's going to basically be seeing a college offense.
No, that's a hell of a good point. Like I would not have connected that dot. That's not something I would have looked for. So that's a hell of a good point. Like that's like something that's kind of throwing my whole argument off, because I had this game as like another route, 38-17, because I just don't see Jacksonville, regardless of Urban Meyer knowing the playbook. It's can the talent actually execute?
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter. And to a joke that we was talking about on the last episode, that Gronk had to publicly come out and try to clear the air on, of him being like, I don't scout.
Yeah,
I ask Tom who's covering me.
Yeah,
and I just go out and play.
I don't think he had to come out. I think we all knew.
Yeah, but it's like, because everybody always talks about he has honestly a track record of being an amazing work ethic and all that. So it's like, I know it was a joke.
And having the best Snapchat ever.
Oh, yeah. But what
of an NFL.
Yeah, but what I was saying with that is like, Gronk doesn't have to know the X's and O's. He has enough talent to just go out and perform. I don't see the Jacksonville Jaguars as having enough talent to just go out and perform, regardless of knowing the X and O's. So they can know the whole playbook. I just don't think that they'll be good enough against Arizona. And I know that's saying a lot because I didn't have Arizona high on my power rankings or whatever, and I still think that they're one of those teams that's getting out to a misleading start. Okay. I'll lump my Broncos into the same shit. Is that we're going to get out, and I was telling you that. I'm like, we're going to get out to a quiet, sneaky, like 4-2 start.
Right.
Cardinals are on the same track.
Okay.
I don't see Jacksonville having a realistic shot in the game, but I'll tune in now because I was going to tune in regardless, but I'll pay attention now that for that little interesting twist on the game, like see how that works out and who it actually ends up benefiting. As a
matter of fact, I can't, if I remember correctly, I'm not.
Did
Ohio State play? No, Ohio State. I think they played Oklahoma when Kyler was there.
Yeah,
Meyer was coaching.
Yeah, asking the wrong guy.
I know it wasn't in the playoffs.
The Patriots.
I told the Patriots.
I told you from now on, anything that's happened in the last 20 years in football, if it's a toss up and I don't know the answer as to who was the champion, I'm just gonna say Patriots because 50% of the time I'm gonna be right. So it's like if I don't know, I'm just gonna say Patriots. Fuck it.
Next.
The next one up is what I think will be the game of the week. I think it's going to be a hell of a good game. And I think it'll be, and only because I have a lot of confidence in one of these teams still. And I have...
Jets?
No. I'm not going to live that shit down. No, you fucking know it. I was so hype on this dude. I'm like, yeah, they can come out and they can finish like 7-10, 8-9. Zach Wilson going, blah, blah, blah. I was on camera saying this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not like these other, I'm not like politicians gonna be like, I didn't say that. Like, no, I fucking said it.
We'll send him a clip. He might send you a signed jersey. You don't know. Never know.
That'll be worth something. Like, at least at least the cost of shipping. I can get that back on the market. Like, yo, sell you this jersey for $5, man. I got these cheeseburgers, man. Anyway, the fucking game of the week for me is LA Chargers going into Kansas City.
Okay.
For me, why that's the game of the week is, again, the Chiefs are always going to be must-watch TV.
Facts.
Like, no matter who they're playing, you're going to want to watch and just see what... I feel like even if the Chiefs played the Lions, I'd want to watch that because Patrick Mahomes is going to start pulling out all of the throws he really wants to do.
Yeah.
Like the NFL street, like behind the back, between the legs. He going to do a 360 in it. Like, I want to see Patrick Mahomes play the Lions because it'll be fun.
I just want to see how many points they score.
It's like, yeah. They wouldn't let him. They wouldn't. Andy Reid does not have the ruthlessness like Bill Belichick. Belichick would run them to the end of the game.
Okay.
Andy Reid would be like, it's 56-3, guys. We can put in the backups. And the backups is over in the background, like taking their helmets off, like, oh, what? Shit. I thought we was getting on the bus, coach. This is going to count against my averages. What if I sprain an ankle? Anyway, no, because the Chiefs are always must-watch TV. Sorry for that. I derailed. The Chiefs are much-watch TV. And again, the Chargers, I like, even though they lost last week in what I feel was a very disappointing loss as we covered, I still like Justin Herbert. I still think that the Chargers have potential to be a good team. And I really, 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 really fucking hope that the Chargers win this game. I don't have them winning the game. But I really hope that they do because...
Personal reason.
Because the Broncos, we can fuck the Chargers up late, and the playoffs are down the stretch as far as record goes.
Right.
Not the Chiefs. If we have to get a must-win game to get in the playoffs, I'd much rather that shit be against the fucking Chargers and the Chiefs.
There you go. And personal reasons.
So personally, but being a realist, I have it 35-31. I think it'll be a close, high-scoring game because Kansas City is not showing they can stop anybody. They're giving up 33 points a game, 32.5 points a game through the first two games. And again, the Chargers have an explosive offense. So I can see them keeping, or at least trying to keep pace with the Chiefs. But again, talent will weigh out. Okay. And I have the Chiefs holding out 35-31. I hope that they lose, but I have it 35-31.
I see this as just another case of big brother just smacking little brother in the back of the head. Even though, divisional games can be tough. Obviously, familiarity. But not this week. I do just like you, I think Justin Herbert's going to be an excellent QB. But again, he's dealing with first-time coach, so new system. I got it 49-28.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
That is a lot of points. But I don't see the Chargers stopping the Chiefs at all.
You think they're going to put up 77 points in that game?
Yeah. I got it 49-20. Like you said, the Chiefs' defense is... Yeah. They can be got. Yeah. But I think Patrick Mahomes just gets the Chargers more. Yeah. And they kind of relax. I don't even think it's going to be, like, close. I think they jump out, like, 21-7. And then they'll just pull away throughout the game. Yeah. So, there you go.
Yeah. So, moving on to the next game. We have New Orleans Saints going up against your Bill Belichick Patriots. I'm going to keep saying that because you're so high on them. So we're going to go with your, who you got in this game? Because I have it 24-17 New England.
That's a solid score. I got New England winning. I think I had 28-17. I can see that happening. Yeah. Bill, I love the matchup of Belichick against Jameis Winston. He has yet to throw for 200 yards. I don't think it happens this week either.
No. So, it definitely doesn't fucking happen this week.
Yeah.
No way in hell it happens this week.
In New England. Yeah, that's all I got on that game.
Again, I think that the Saints' Week 1 win was an outlier. I don't think it was at all who they are. I think we saw who they are last week.
Is that the word? Outlier? It's outlier. That's one of those weird words.
This is how I pronounce it. All right. So fuck you.
I'm genuine enough. I'm not even. I'm genuine enough.
I've heard it both ways. I prefer to say outlier.
Yeah. Just double checking.
I don't know. Outlier. That just sounds weird to me. It comes off the tongue wrong.
Outlier.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm bougie. I like British shit. I'm all in. Maybe I just picked it up that way.
Are you from San Francisco?
If you ever hear me though say schedule, then we're gonna have a problem, and you need to like commit me somewhere. Let me check my schedule. The fuck. Anyway, so fucking. I think that the Saints are gonna be back to the rebuild team that they are. Jameis Winston's not a quarterback.
Did you see the clip of him running through the running back?
Oh yeah, getting just bounced around like a rag doll. Like, it's embarrassing. He's not. I mean, go back to stealing shrimp, bro. People don't forget.
I told you that was a miscommunication with the plug.
There was a miscommunication between
with the plug, man.
A lot. No, anyway. So Bill Belichick handles business with the Patriots, especially at home over the Saints. 24-17. I'm only saying it that low. I couldn't get 28 or higher. As much as like I know you like Mac Jones, I still don't see Bill Belichick allowing him to just start uncorking. I think it'll still be just a very well managed game, just a very methodical, move it down the field, and that favors the Patriots.
Agreed.
Atlanta versus the New York Giants, 2 0-2 teams that ironically are both 0-2 but look different. They're like different ways of being 0-2.
That's fair.
So, what do you think about this matchup?
The Giants could well be 1-1. They tricked one off. Thanks, D-Law. But I'm going with the Falcons. Get their first dub.
Okay, you have the Falcons.
I'm encouraged by the way. Last year, last week. Sorry, that was my upset special. They were in the game until the end when Matt Ryan threw 2 pick sixes.
Okay,
I was encouraged by the way they played. They can beat a team like the Giants, whether it's at home or on the road. So I'm gonna pick the Falcons. I'm gonna go 31-24. They get the dub over the G-Men.
Yeah, I still don't think it's gonna be the Falcons. I know that you were impressed with their performance last week. I wasn't. I still think that they're a bad team. And I don't mean bad like in a that's negative, but I mean like they're not going to be a team that makes any. They're not going to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
I have it 21-13 for the Giants.
Okay.
Again, it's 2 teams that I think are rebuilding, that are struggling with their identity, struggling with like what are they trying to do.
Absolutely.
With the Falcons, with the Giants more so. I have more confidence in Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley than I do in Matt Ryan right now.
Okay.
I just think that again, like they weren't really competitive against us, but they were very competitive against Washington.
Right. And
Washington's defense is light years better than the Falcons' defense.
Okay.
So if they could be in the game all the way up until the final kick against Washington's defense with their offense, like it was a high-scoring game.
Right.
I have them with the edge over the Atlanta Falcons, but only slightly. I don't think it's going to be. I think that'll be probably the ugliest game of the week.
Fair. I mean, just like me, I'm just the opposite. I think the Falcons coming off it, and they're feeling if we're a play here or there from being in the game with the reigning champs.
Yeah. And
Tampa's defense is serious.
Yeah.
So with that, I think, and I trust their talent more. When you trust Danny Dimes and Saquon more, I will take Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts every day.
That's fair. So next we got an AFC North matchup, division matchup. Cincinnati going up into Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We touched on this a bit because we both had guys, whether it was my Joe Burrow to sit him or you talked about Najee Harris. What are your thoughts on the actual game itself, on the Bengals and Steelers? How are you seeing this one playing out in your division?
Little brother calls his parents and gets big brother in trouble. I got the Bengals.
You got the Bengals with the upset.
Yeah. In Pittsburgh.
With the upset.
Yeah.
Is that a same thing for me with the KC thing? Is that like because it's a lesser of 2 evils that you know you could fuck up the Bengals, but you'd rather not see the Steelers as a contender late?
No, we can blow both of these teams out.
Okay, I like that confidence.
However,
I like that only because you guys have proven it. Like we haven't proven shit against the Chiefs yet, so I can't have that confidence that you do.
However,
not yet.
With these 2 teams, and this is going to be an interesting take. I know it's only 2 weeks in, but it looks like these 2 teams have flip-flopped.
How do you?
I know I had Pittsburgh at 10 in my power rankings, but they've definitely not played up to that. So they're definitely dropping the next time we do power rankings. But just looking at the way they played, Pittsburgh snuck up on Buffalo. Buffalo made some mistakes in that game. They could have won.
Told you Pittsburgh sucked. Go ahead.
But no, they're not, but they're imbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
The defense, it's not a traditional Pittsburgh defense.
Yeah.
They definitely ain't on like Ray Lewis Ravens. So they ain't even on the Troy Polamalu Steelers level. Nowhere near that. But that defense is good enough to win you games. Their offense is just struggling so bad. Yeah. And that's they're just imbalanced. Like this offense to me is like worse than those Ravens offenses. At least they had an identity. They could go out and execute. We're guaranteed we're going to get you 17 points. Mm. Ray Lewis, please do the rest. And they would do it. This offense can't do that because Ben can't put pressure on defenses by going downfield. Mm-hmm. And it's as good as the defense is, I think I see for the foreseeable future, they're going to let teams score just enough to negate the defense, their efforts. They're just going to be in too many close games that I don't think their offense can win, this being one. Mm-hmm. I think the Bengals outpour them to go 24-21. I don't think Joe Burrow has an excellent game. I don't think he struggles like he did last week. But he plays good enough to get them a dub.
People at home listening to this on the podcast, you can't. That's just for YouTube. I need a dap for that. See, Bobby's coming around to understand what I was saying when we were going into our power ranks. We were going into the season. This is literally what I was saying about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm like, that defense is nice, especially with Mike Tomlin. But that offense is a huge question mark. I kept saying it. I'm like, they didn't do enough. Like, you go out and get Najee Harris, but then that offensive line is a problem. Ben Roethlisberger's 39 years old and looks every second of it. I'm like, who's gonna be your main guy? Is it Juju? Is it Claypool? And neither one of them has really performed. Juju had a good week one, I think.
But is it because they're not performing, or is it because Ben can't really?
I think, and again, that was my question mark. That's why I'm like, I ranked them. I think I had the Pittsburgh Steelers 15th, but then I was in my heart, they're the 25th team in the league. You're seeing that. No, but you're seeing that that imbalance is they could be. They could easily slip all the way down there if they're in a lot of those close games because of what you said. Where's it going to come from? Yeah. Can we still trust Big Ben down the stretch to lead us into the red zone on a game winner? Can he still do it?
Here's a question. Would you take a look at Cam Newton?
If I was Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
No. For the exact same reason we're talking about. He can't put pressure on defenses.
He can throw the ball downfield.
He's not shown that over the last
not accurate as Ben.
Yeah,
but at least he can throw it there.
I wouldn't go after Cam. I don't feel like he fits that scheme, and he doesn't fix the need that they have right now. And the need that they have is exactly what you're saying. They need somebody who can run the game. I don't want to keep using game manager because that's not even what they need. They just need somebody who can fucking play. Yeah. And Ben Roethlisberger just can't anymore. And you're old, man. I know you're sticking it around because you want to be in that category with the, Tom Brady's, Drew Brees', Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron Rodgers is younger, but it's you're not.
Is he? I think he is.
Aaron Rodgers is 36 and Ben Roethlisberger is 39.
No, but in the comments, as far as career hierarchy.
What do you mean?
He's up there with him.
Big Ben?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying why I think he wants to stay, why he hasn't retired yet. Because I feel like he's still chasing them. He's still chasing them. But in chasing them, he's hurting his team. And I appreciated them restructuring his contract to try to go out and get people, but then they squandered in the offseason, which is what I was saying. And now they're seeing that. So, like you, I have this as a close upset with the Bengals winning 31-28. And I literally have it being that they win on the last second field goal. So, I think it'll be a closer game than it should be if you're a Steelers fan.
So you think they got that DJ Khaled going on? The Bengals.
What you mean?
Another one.
Probably. Yeah. So I got them. I got them taking it too.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next matchup, another division matchup, but out of your division, we now to the AFC South. You got the Indianapolis Colts heading into Tennessee. Tennessee coming off of that huge, momentous comeback win in Seattle. Now they get to go back home to Tennessee and face a division rival in the Colts. The Colts, who now don't have, I don't even want to call him Mr. Glass anymore because that's an insult to Glass. Like, what is softer? What is more fragile? Quail's eggs. They have the quarterback who is as fragile as quail's eggs.
What do you want to quote your boy?
What?
Stephen A.
Stephen.
Boy, you soft as cottonelle tissue.
There we go. Man. Carson Wentz. Again, as we talked about in the last episode, but I still can't. How do you sprain both your fucking ankles on one play? But I was saying that
he said it happened 2 different times.
But I don't give a fuck what he says. But even at that, he sprained both your ankles in one game. Like, anyway, but that's what I'm saying. It's like this dude is not. Anyway, so before I go on another rant, we got the Colts going into Tennessee, as I was saying. The Colts are now 0-2. Tennessee's 1-1, coming off of that huge one. Mm-hmm. Well, how do you have this game shaping up?
Tennessee.
By how much? Given that quick dismission, like what is?
Well, this is pretty much. I mean, like we said, preseason. It's Tennessee's division to lose.
Yeah.
This game helps them create huge separation. I mean, it essentially gives them a 3-game lead in the division. Mm-hmm. But they don't have an answer for Derrick Henry. Even though I think it'll be a close game, they don't have an answer for Derrick Henry. But I think Ryan Tannehill struggles in this game. The Colts do have a pretty decent pass defense, even though they're 0-2. If you look at Russell Wilson and Matt Stafford, they didn't have tremendous games. Their game's good enough to win. Mm-hmm. Especially Stafford had a few turnovers, and Indy easily could have won that game, even though they came from behind to take the lead, and then blew it. But I think Tannehill struggles. I'm gonna go, but it's too much Derrick Henry. I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna say 28-27. Yep, 28-27.
Damn, a 1-point game.
Yeah.
Damn. I have it. I got a Tennessee going away at 28-17. Then again, it'll be, like I said before, it'll be a game that's going to look closer at the end on the scoreboard than it'll actually be if you watch it. I think that the Tennessee Titans, I think that they were confused week 1 on what to do with the new moving parts, with, like, again, the identity struggle.
That's fair.
Julio Jones. Like, I think that they were just overthinking.
Very fair.
Then they went and they were still overthinking in the first half against the Seahawks, and then they did what we talk about. The first thing, if you're ever a salesman that they teach you, kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Tennessee Titans decided to just keep it real, super fucking simple. You can't get simpler than that.
Yeah. Just give it to Derek.
Just every play, if 22 needs the ball in his hands. And like this is fucking Pop Warner, like high school. Like, yo, just give him the ball and get the fuck out the way. Like, and it worked. And I think that now that they understand that, and they just gonna keep feeding Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And I think that that's gonna open up Julio Jones, because now again teams are realizing, just like the Titans did, oh yeah, we forgot for 1 week somehow that they have Derrick Henry.
Right. He
can still hit you for 180 yards on the ground. Like, dude. Yeah. Oh, and 55 receptions. Yeah. So I'm gonna just hit you real quick for 230 by myself.
But here's the scary thing though, and this is why I don't have full confidence in Tennessee long term.
Yeah.
Even with that, you barely win.
But it's against the Seahawks and in Seattle, whereas at home against the Colts that have a depleted roster, they're missing an offensive lineman, they're now missing their quarterback. They were already a question mark team at home. I think that the Titans just beat their ass.
Yeah,
it'll be 28-17.
But just imagine, like, if Nick Chubb has that kind of game, we're killing somebody. If Christian McCaffrey has a game,
that's loaded though.
The Panthers are killing somebody.
Though, because that's like to a point, like and I'm only saying this because it was referenced recently, not by us, but it's on ESPN, like Kobe's 81-point game. It's like people want to kind of like, oh, well, he had only 1 assist or whatever, and it's like, no, you have to understand the context of the game. It's just like, yeah, if Nick Chubb had that, if that was how his game went from start to finish, even Derrick Henry, yeah, they're blowing somebody out. You have to understand, this dude put up 147 of those 180 yards in the second half because they were getting their ass handed to him. To where it's like, yeah, that stat line looks ridiculous. It's like, oh, well, if somebody else put this up. And it's like, no, he put that up because he had to. Yeah. Like Kobe putting up 81. It's not because he was a ball hog. They were down 20 the whole fucking game. And he kept passing and trying to get, somebody to get a layup, and nobody. He's like, all right, I guess I got to shoot every shot. So I'm like, yeah, if Nick Chubb had that, theoretically, if you just saw it on paper, you would expect them to blow somebody out. Yeah. But if you told me he put up 80% of these numbers in the second half, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds like it would be a close game. Because you would have to in order to get back into it.
Or is it did Seattle just let their foot off the gas too soon?
No, I think Derrick Henry got loose. I'm not going to take shit away from Derrick Henry because that boy will come in here and stiff arm me out the goddamn building. I'm not going to be on a fucking podcast saying it ain't Derrick Henry. I like my chest. I like my face. Like, I'm pretty. I'm too pretty for that shit. No, yeah, it was Derrick Henry decided he was going to run through everybody.
Okay. Who we got
he wanted to show beast mode that there's another one in town. Next up, got my team, the Denver Broncos, going up against the New York Jets. There's not a lot to say about this game, so I'm not going to belabor the point. Again, we're going up against a team that's really, really struggling. It was supposed to be my dark horse team, the Jets. I thought Zach Wilson was going to have a way better start to the season than he did. I hope he doesn't wake up against us. Knock on wood. I hope he don't wake up against us and show exactly what I thought he was.
Right.
Because that would just be ironic and piss me off to a point of like
that would be so
fury
awesome
if he decides to like go off for like 450 yards and 5 touchdowns and 100 yards on the ground.
If the Jets win this game, we're talking about this the entire next show.
I'm not. I won't. If the Jets win this game, I won't be on the next show. I won't fucking. We'll just have to skip to next week. We'll just go to the next week predictions. No, I got the again with how our team has been playing, regardless of bias or not. If you just look at it, period, we're a problem. Like, yeah, again, it was two, low level teams. So are the Jets, but either way, we did exactly what we were supposed to against those low level teams because other teams have slipped up, like the Titans slipping up, the fucking Chiefs slipping up. Yeah. You could argue the Ravens slipped up with their loss to the Raiders. Yeah, like. So these other teams that were supposed to have these wins, that were supposed to be jumping out to these 2-0 leads, like I guarantee you, if you asked anybody, name three teams that will start the season 2-0, nobody would have said Arizona Cardinals, Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders. But what did those teams do? Yeah, they were playing bad teams. They did what they were supposed to. Right. The Broncos are realistically holding teams, as I was saying before, to 7 points a game. I know it's technically 13, but again, on both games, it was like a throwaway touchdown at the end. So we're realistically holding teams to 7 points a game. We're holding them like their offenses to their passing offense to under 200. While on the other side, we're throwing for over 300 with Teddy Bridge. Cortland Sutton looks amazing again. Melvin Gordon looks amazing. Teddy Bridgewater is doing exactly what I hoped he was doing. It sucks that we lost Bradley Chubb again, but we still have Von Miller. And it wasn't like Bradley Chubb was having a big impact. He missed he missed the whole first game. Mm-hmm. And then didn't even play half of the second one. So, and we were still that dominant without him. So it's like we want him there. Obviously, you want a guy of his caliber there, but this season we're proving we don't need him. I know I said I wasn't gonna go along with it, but I don't see that. The Broncos are a better team than the Jets.
They are.
I believe that we are in the right headspace right now to understand that and to play the game the way that we're supposed to and win the game. I have us winning it 27-13. I'm just going to stick with the exact same basic scoreline from the previous two games because that seems to be what we're doing. So I'm going to go 27-13. It seems like a safe call.
27-13.
And it's in Denver. So
true. Home game.
And so you got Zach Wilson after getting his ass whipped the previous 2 weeks. Now he's got to go into arguably the second hardest, one or two of the second hardest teams or stadiums to play in other than Seattle. You got to go up into that mile high air with our equivalent 12th man that's loud as shit. Zach Wilson doing that as a rookie, having to face Von Miller and Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons and Patrick Surtain and Ronald. I see it as a bad day for the kid. I
see it as a bad day for both teams.
Oh, here comes the hate.
This is no hate. Facts can't be hate.
I can't even get love from this fucker when we're playing the fucking Jets.
I haven't even said who I think is gonna win the game. I think it's gonna be a bad game for both teams. I think this is a classic NFL trap game. Okay. Because of what you said earlier. Who do you guys play next?
Ravens.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. You got to be up for that game. I think your guys are in the locker room saying everything you just said. These dudes are terrible, and we're playing well, and man, let's get ready for Lamar. I think they win the game, but I got 21-17. A close game. I think kind of played out play out like last night's game. They're going to play you guys tough for a half, and then you guys will robotussing them and just kind of wear them down. But I think it'll be close throughout. It's just, it has all the makings of that classic trap game. Rookie QB coming in against solid defense. They not worried about nothing until he shows them something. He'll show them something in like the first half, and then again, you guys get him with that robotussing. Just keep wearing them down, and just win the game.
I would agree to it if we were the Chiefs or the Browns, or not the Chiefs. If we were like the Browns or the Titans, like a team that did really well last year, made the playoffs, but still has work to do of looking past an opponent. We hadn't made the playoffs in 5 years. We haven't had a winning season in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, we hadn't won an opening game in 6.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, again,
it's like, no,
everything's setting up
for
us.
That trap. For us, why I'm arguing against it is that we're not a team that's like, that has any confidence. That you got to let me finish. Like, that has any confidence, like, from previous experiences, from previous seasons, like that we can, like, so again, like the Browns or the Titans, we're building off of this. It's like, this is all new. We have to we're scrapping. It's where it's like, yeah, we have Baltimore coming up next week. We do not want to lose this game.
Yeah,
we would rather go up against Baltimore and lose and be 3-1 than be 2-2. That's where their heads at. And again, I'm a Broncos fan. You're a Browns fan. We listen to the comments. We listen to the players. That's where every one of their heads is at. It's like, no, we can't take anything for granted because we don't have anything to build on. We have shit to build on.
Yeah.
We won a Super Bowl and have been fucking garbage since. So I don't think that they've taken any team lightly.
That's exactly what I think it is. It's number one. You got they have to say that, but I'm telling you, in that locker room, that's what I think it is. Like, all the things, like, having won an open game to 6 is like, bro, we are 2-0 right now. Like, it's everything surrounding this game is classic NFL trap game. I don't think y'all lose, but I think it's gonna be tougher than expected. That's all.
I really, really hope that I'm not even gonna say it. I'm just gonna wait.
It's not hate. I picked y'all to win.
I'm just gonna wait. Miami lost Tua to cracked ribs. He will not be starting on Sunday as the Miami Dolphins bring the Miami sun and weather and all that beautifulness down out here to the dry heat of Las Vegas.
Indoors, they slightly
and the 2-0
invaded
Las Vegas Raiders.
I feel like, and I know why they did it. It's a comfort thing, but I feel like it should have been an open air stadium.
You can't. I mean, you can.
Yeah, you can. Open air baseball team plays there. Yeah. They're out there for 8 hours straight.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that would have been a heck of a home field advantage.
It would and wouldn't have been all at the same time. It would have been for the weather, if you can count on the weather. But I tell you this fucking shit right now, I'm not going and sitting for a 4-hour football game at 110 degree.
Oh no, you can you can design the stadium so that the stands are like Seattle. When it rains, it literally only rains on the field. It doesn't rain in the stands. You can design the stadium like that, and we both know their games start at 1:00. By 1:00, the sun is already past the stadium, so it would have just been straight heat. You put all the AC on the Raiders side, or you got the nice ventilated benches.
Pull some bullshit like this.
Like you get these old wooden benches on the side. You want to
pull some bullshit like the 70s Celtics did to the Lakers. They cut off the AC.
The hot water. Yeah, y'all about to feel it for 4 hours.
So what you think the Dolphins are going to do since they can't swim in the desert?
I think the Dolphins win. I do.
Oh, you think they win it?
Yeah, I like Jacoby Brissett with a full week of practice. He has proven to be a better NFL quarterback at right now than Tua has. I think Tua getting injured took a lot of pressure off of Brian Flores over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because if they lose this game, people are going to start talking. Like, what's up with this kid? Like, he ain't win a game. You had the issue with Fitzpatrick. And a lot of pressure just got removed from his plate because now, if Jacoby Brissett plays well, you just sit to it and call it a day.
It's kind of
and
a
deal
win-win.
with that in the offseason.
Yeah, it's kind of a win-win
Right.
for you. If you lose the game, you can blame it on Tua.
Right.
If you win the game, you have a new starter.
And like I said, Jacoby, he took the Colts to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He was with the Patriots when he started out, played well. He's proven he can play quarterback in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he plays well. You just holler at your trainer, yo, just tell Tua it's not time. Every week, just
The X-rays.
How you
came
feeling?
back.
I'm feeling great.
There's no pain or anything. We're still seeing the crack.
Yeah, you got some swelling.
There's a little bit of a crack. You
Yeah.
put your pads on too strong, might inflame it.
But yeah, I see the Dolphins coming in here, and I kind of see this the same as the Broncos. Like the Raiders are riding a supreme high.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely winning one game that they shouldn't have won at least.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely handled their business with the Steelers. But the Dolphins is definitely going to be the best defense that they faced thus far, and a better offense than expected. Their talent actually matches the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Raiders have Ruggs as a deep threat, the Dolphins got Jalen Waddle. They have actually a better overall receiving core with Parker and Will the Thrill Fuller, who's also another speed demon.
Yeah.
And again, defensively, I get an edge to the Dolphins. I think they come in here and take it. I'm going to say 28-17.
Wow. I have it almost exactly the opposite. As I said before, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Dolphins can't swim in the desert. I don't see Miami coming in here. I don't see them coming into Vegas. I don't see them coming into our stadium.
Mm.
And I say our stadium. I'm talking about the Las Vegas stadium, not the Raiders. I'm saying Allegiant Stadium that belongs to the city of Las Vegas.
So for those
That the
who don't
Raiders
know,
happen
we
to
do
play
film in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah. So I don't see them coming down to Vegas and beating the Raiders. Again, as you said, the Raiders, their 2-0 to me is an impressive 2-0.
Okay.
I think it's the most, and I can't believe I'm even saying this shit, but it's one of the more impressive 2-0s in the league. And that again,
That's fair.
they had nobody picked them beating the Ravens, and even less would have thought you'd follow that up on the very next game on the road and beat the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they won both of those games, I think that they have a shit ton of confidence. They have
Exactly.
And with that, the culture that is the Raiders, the last fucking thing you want is any of these assholes to have a reason to be happy, because then they turn into the black hole, And I'm saying that as a positive for them. It's like
right.
once they start fucking feeling themselves, they're gonna be a problem for the league. Because they have a no fucks attitude, and I've always appreciated that about the Raiders, and I'm saying that for the first time publicly. They have a no fucks attitude, and if you give them a reason to be confident in themselves, that just amplifies.
Right.
And I don't see the Dolphins coming in and being able to keep pace with a cocky Raiders team.
Okay.
I just think that they win 28-10. Okay. I didn't even have a 28-7. I have a 28-10 because again, I think that the Dolphins they don't get real dry out here.
Yeah,
real dry.
Yeah. Again, I see it just like I see the Broncos and Jets trap game. Who do the Raiders play next?
I don't know.
LA Chargers.
Yeah.
And I know they're thinking through, bro, we beat the Dolphins, and next week we have a chance to put a real chokehold
on the AFC West. Yeah.
Because that'll be a division win.
Because we don't have a division game.
4-0.
Yeah, we don't have a division game until I think week 8 or week 9.
Right.
Like all of our division games for the Broncos, for example, are like backloaded.
Yeah. And then not only that, it's bigger picture. They're pretty much trying to put a chokehold on a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. If you look at the teams they've beaten, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Dolphins, and if they beat the Dolphins and if they beat the Chargers.
These are all potential playoff teams that
exactly.
hold the tiebreaker on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, I think that the Raiders would be too motivated. I get what you're saying. It could be a trap game, but I have to pick the Raiders again this week. And it makes me sick. Because the last thing I want is for the Broncos to win and the Raiders to win. And for us to both still be, undefeated. But again, I don't see how the Dolphins, I don't see them doing it. So moving on to what a lot of other people have as the potential game of the week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the LA Rams in LA. You want me to go first?
Yeah,
I'll go first. All right, so this might shock you, but I'm actually picking the Rams in this game. I think that this is the first game that the Buccaneers lose. As I said before, I don't think that they go undefeated. I think they go 16-1. This is the one. Okay. This is the loss. And I think it's because they didn't look as good as they should have against the Cowboys.
Right.
The fact that game came down to one possession is a problem. And then again with the Falcons game, what should have been a blowout, it looked like a blowout on paper, but again, the Falcons were in the game, as you said, until late. That's a problem.
Right.
You can't really bet against Tom Brady, but going up into LA against the Rams, I think, again, as you say, it's a trap game because the Rams haven't been playing well. Like their defense hasn't been playing well. Their offense has been more than keeping pace.
Right.
But I think that almost the defense might have gotten complacent because they're not playing well because the offense is playing so well. They were like, oh, what the fuck is this?
We have help.
We get to rest, my nigga? What? We get to actually just like not have to be getting our ass handed to us all day. Oh, this is nice. This is lovely. So, but I think that they're not playing to the level that they should. And I have it as a very close game. I have it 31-28 LA. And again, I think that Tom Brady will find the chinks in the armor. I think that he'll find the spots to still move the ball against that Rams defense. But I don't like what I've seen from Tampa Bay. And I think that they slip up and lose this game.
Okay. This is another one of those games where I'm planning ahead. Mm-hmm. I have Tampa winning the game.
Okay.
Because I foresee these teams playing again in the playoffs. And I think the Rams win the rematch.
You think the Rams win in the playoffs?
In the playoffs.
That would have to probably be like the championship game, the NFC championship then.
That could be divisional round.
Okay.
I think Tampa will get the bye, so yeah, it could be divisional round.
So you think that Tampa Bay pulls out this game?
Yeah, I think Tampa pulls out this game. This is really, to a degree, like the biggest game in Matthew Stafford's career. Mm-hmm. It's definitely probably the most hype regular season game he's ever played in, and it's a lot of pressure. Again, NFS. How is this not the Sunday night or Monday night game?
Yeah, instead we got the
we get it Sunday afternoon.
Like, come on.
Yeah, the 49ers who didn't make the playoffs last year. But I think it's definitely. I definitely think it's gonna be a good game, a tight game. I think the Rams defense wakes up to a degree.
Just to a degree.
To a degree, because I don't see him holding Tampa to less than 20. Mm. But I think it'll just be like a well played football game where it's like they could give up points, but you're not gonna be like, oh, their defense is trash, or they played terrible. It's just Tampa's gonna make some plays. And same thing on the opposite side of the field. Like the Bucs defense won't look bad, but the Rams
they've been looking bad.
But I think this will just be like a well played game. I think both defenses will make plays when necessary. Both offenses will make plays when necessary. But I'm gonna go Tampa 31-28.
So you have it the same thing as me, just flip. You just think that the edge is
Tampa regular
season.
I like
that. I like that we both have it as a close game. You just think that that Tom Terrific gets the final one. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, but
I'm cool with you picking Tom Terrific.
In the playoffs, the Rams get that just due.
As we talked about, preseason and power rankings, it's like the Rams are not a team anybody wants to see in the playoffs.
No.
So yeah, I can see how that would be a problem, especially if they have film on you from the regular season. How that could be a problem. So yeah, that would be interesting. Moving on to Seattle versus Minnesota. In Minnesota.
Tough game.
Yeah, I have it as a tough game too. So I'm curious to see which side you go on because I have it as a really tough game too.
And I hate to say it because I had the Vikings making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I also have the Seahawks making the playoffs. The Vikings should not be 0-2. That's like, they just shouldn't be. But unfortunately, I got them going 0-3. I gotta go with the Seahawks on the road. Mm-hmm. Coming off that heartbreak last week, I think a lot of people got pissed in the locker room, and a lot of people got a talking to. I think the right people got a talking to. I see them coming out on fire and handling their business. Go 35-21, Seahawks on the road.
I have it way closer. I have it 27-21. So I think not even a full touchdown difference.
Right.
I think it's going to be a weird game because, again, it's going to be two really good defenses and two potentially potent offenses, like two offenses that have great weapons. But it's just gonna be I think it'll be a tense game.
Yeah.
Because again, on one side you got Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. On the other side you got Russell Wilson, T.J. Lockett, and the T9000, like
DK Metcalf.
So I think it'll be I don't think it'll be a fun game to watch necessarily, unless you're a big fan of defenses. So for a guy like me, I'm gonna fucking love it because I love defense. I love nothing more than some good defense. So I'll personally probably like it, but it's gonna be a rough and rugged affair. It's gonna be a lot of short yardage games. It's gonna be a lot of ground and pound. It's gonna be a lot of just tough yardage plays.
Fair.
So I think it'll be 27-21. And another good matchup, potentially, because this is all over the place in my opinion. Green Bay versus San Francisco. In San Francisco.
I don't think anything's good about this matchup.
Me. I mean, because it's too many variables for me. I mean, you have San Francisco at 2-0. Green Bay is, I guess, 1-1.
He said, I guess.
Because, they had a bye week. They had a bye week too.
They decided also just not to play week 1.
Yeah, so they
thought it was still preseason.
So you think I'm guessing that this is like week 1 for them as far as like an actual game, because if you look at it that way, which it looked like,
and then you get the bye week.
Yeah, and then you get a bye week, like a warm up game.
Yeah,
it's like So I guess because again, Aaron Rodgers, as you said to me, the famous Aaron Rodgers thing, RELAX, like. Aaron Rodgers wouldn't give a fuck if they started off 0-4. He's like, I'm making the playoffs, bitch. You know who I am?
Yeah.
Right. So, who you got?
I think this is the beginning of the end of the 49ers season.
Wow. They're 2-0. You think this is it?
They are.
Even if they drop to 2-1, you think it's just downhill from
again, them. Remember, they got the bye week in week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's, they're back. See, they're here. And then they played a real team.
Yeah.
And yeah, but we won the game. Now you're playing a better team than that.
But they were blowing them out.
Who?
The Niners in that second game. Oh no, I'm thinking about
17-11.
Correction.
They were blowing them.
I was thinking about Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I don't know. I was on the wrong because I was thinking Tampa Bay, Aaron Rodgers, all that shit. My head was off. Go ahead.
Right.
My bad.
So right.
We can't because we do all first take shit, but it's like I wish I could like cut that, get that part out.
You play another team that's not a bye week, and you just look average.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're playing a better team than that. At minimum, you're playing the best offense you played. Probably it could be the best offense you see all season. Yeah, Green Bay, I think they run away with this one on prime time again. I got it 34-20.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, I have zero faith in the 49ers.
Zero faith in the 49ers.
Yeah, and again, I think this is the beginning of the end of their season. I had them finishing third in their division preseason. The way the Cardinals are playing, I know a lot of people don't believe in them. I don't fully believe in the Cardinals, but they're playing better football than the 49ers. Yes. And if you look at it, you got Green Bay, you got Seattle next, then you got those Cardinals. After that, you got the Rams after that. Like, you don't get a break until you play Jacksonville 4 weeks from now.
Yeah. That's a rough go. That's a rough go.
Right. And then after that, Seattle, Vikings, and then Seattle again. So, like, you're potentially playing, like, 5 out of 6 playoff teams over your next 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I think this is the beginning and the end of their season. Get Trey Lance warmed up because he'll be in about week 8 or 9 full time.
I think that it's going to be a San Francisco win. I think that they move to 3-0. I still think that Aaron Rodgers is phoning in. As I was just saying, I don't think that he gives a shit right now. I don't think that he's going to, like, really... I honestly feel like he's still deciding how many fucks to give for this season. Like, 1 fuck, 2 fuck. I think he's still kind of just playing it out. I don't think we'll see what direction he truly wants to take the Packers in.
Remember.
Until, like, week 6. So I think he half-assed it again. But even him half-assing it against the San Francisco 49ers, I think it'll be 28-20 Frisco.
Okay.
It's not because I'm really confident in San Francisco at this point. Their defense is solid, but it's more just that fucking... I think Aaron Rodgers doesn't give a shit yet.
But I'll give you two
I don't think he cares yet.
two things you probably didn't take into consideration, and I'll let you know so you can. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers loves to beat the 49ers. Two reasons. One, or this reason, he's got one extra reason. One, they didn't trade for him in the preseason. Mm-hmm. That was one of his destinations to go. The Packers trade him. Two, they didn't draft him. Mm-hmm. Remember, they picked Alex Smith first, and he fell to Green Bay. He loves to beat the 49ers.
I mean, yeah, he has a reason to get up for the game. I think he's phoning it in for now.
Not against the 49ers.
Hey, I have it close. You have it as a blowout. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we needed some differences on picks because we've only had up until this point. That's now our fourth one.
I think, and the next one will be the same, I think.
Who you got, Dallas? Monday Night Football?
I'm not saying.
All right, we got the Monday Night Football matchup. Fuck it. Let's delay it. Drum roll, please. Of Monday Night Football, Philadelphia playing Dallas. Divisional matchup, if you call it division. NFC trash. Who you got? Since we have to wait that 10 seconds.
Yeah. Or I could just pass back and say, who you got?
Just who you got, man?
After this game, I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
Okay, yeah, we're the same.
First game, up to being at home. Dallas is definitely coming off a high, beating the Chargers in LA. Tony Pollard, man, that dude is a very solid RB2. Mm-hmm. McCarthy. Dude, follow. Just stick to your game plan, bro. Mm. You see what happens when you run the ball. And again, just like I told you last episode, the Dallas Cowboys are now 26-5. When they have more running attempts than passing attempts with Dak Prescott as quarterback.
Yeah.
Just run the ball.
Just run it.
Just run the ball.
Just let Zeke eat. Let Tony
Pollard
eat.
Pollard, both, like, that opens up your play action. Like, the Dallas Cowboys are just, they may not be the better team, chemistry-wise, but they are far superior in talent to the Eagles. Yeah. It shouldn't be close, but I'm going to keep it close. I'm going to say the Cowboys win it 34-27.
And you have a high scoring.
Yeah, the Cowboys defense can be got.
Yeah.
Even though they did make the adjustment last week of moving Michael Parsons from middle linebacker to edge, where you could just go get the QBs in that Von Miller role.
Yeah.
Huge difference. Like,
huge.
Yeah. So,
good night and day.
But divisional opponents, they know what they're dealing with. Jalen Hurts isn't playing bad at all.
Yeah.
It'll be a good game.
I got Dallas winning it too, which means that they'll probably lose. Because whenever Dallas is like a clear-cut favorite to do anything right, they fuck it off.
It's technically true.
So I got Dallas winning 24-13 because, again, I think that Jalen Hurts and that Eagles team, they're kind of figuring out what they're doing, and they don't look bad, as you said. Like, they don't look bad.
No.
They're still young. Yeah, I think it's a toss-up game, man. I hate talking about the NFC trash because it's like, you never know. Like, we can go through all the analytics that we want to, and then it's like they'll come out and just shit the bed. And you're like, what? By the way, where did that phrase come from? Because that had to have been like a common problem enough to where it was like you shit the bed, and someone was just like, yeah. Anyway, sorry, random thoughts.
No, not that.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
Oh, I thought you know me.
All right, keep going.
Threw me off. Anyway, so those are our final picks. That wraps up week 3. I don't like that we only have 4 differences because that means that I can only be more right than you by +4 next week. So, good. That's probably a good thing. Because that's probably a good thing there. So we have our picks in for week 3.
Lock them in.
You guys can feel free to agree, disagree in the comments. Let us know. We're not quite done yet, but we had wanted to talk about 2 quick NBA topics.
Yeah.
Before we head out. You obviously have Ben Simmons formally, publicly saying that he will not play for the Sixers, that he wants to trade, that he will rather sit out the season than play another second in a Sixers jersey. And he's making that choice. And another guy who might have to sit out the fucking season over in San Francisco on the Golden State Warriors is Andrew Wiggins because he refuses to get vaccinated.
Right.
And obviously San Francisco has policies in place that would make that very problematic. Because unlike the NFL, the NBA doesn't have, as of yet, a must be vaccinated policy in place yet.
Right.
It's strongly encouraged, but it's not in place yet. So
which is weird.
Still has that
weird because I'm sure there are unvaccinated players on the 49ers.
They just have to go through protocols.
Yeah, but is it that much of a difference playing in a football? Because that's the thing. It's indoor.
Yeah.
And the 49ers play technically in an outdoor stadium.
Yeah.
But you're still inside of a facility.
Right.
Like, I don't get it. And you have
locker
suites
rooms
to where people are indoors. Your locker room, like, you're just being a pain in the ass for the sake of being a pain in the ass. That's my thing.
So let's, since we're on that thread, we'll get back to Ben Simmons. What do you think about Andrew Wiggins and him taking this stance?
It's fine. I mean, it's his choice. Again, like, your employer hasn't mandated. So you're well within your rights to do what you want to do. Your employer, which is Golden State Warriors, they own the building. They should have final say on what goes on in their building.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to let you, okay, if you're the city, you want to tell me what to do in my building? Okay, pick up that tab. Kick him that $12, $14 million of his salary he's going to get for missing 41 games.
Because they don't own the building. The city of San Francisco owns the building.
The Warriors flipped that bill.
No, the majority of and that's with any stadium. The majority of the cost of building a stadium needs to be coming from
not all the time. Certain situations, like City of Cleveland, we own our stadium because of what happened with the relocation. Jerry Jones owns Jerry World outright. He flipped that bill. There are certain teams,
that would be a rare exception.
Yeah, the Warriors were one of them. They flipped the bill for that stadium.
Okay, well then, to that point, I mean, it's hard to argue. Like, I should be allowed to have my own rooms in my own building. But for
Dan Gilbert's another one. He bought when he bought the team, he also bought the arena.
Yeah, for me, I think it's again, it's a frustrating topic for I know a lot of people around the world right now. Yeah. Whether you're dealing with it yourself or whether you're seeing it and things like this, it's like, yes, you have a right to your own body, being Andrew Wiggins. Like, of course, if you don't want to get vaccinated, then don't. But where I look at it too is like, okay, you have access, unlike most people in this country, to the absolute best medical professionals that money can buy. I mean, for fuck's sake, dude, you're getting paid like $25 million a year.
Remember, another factor into it is, he's not American. He's Canadian.
Like, again, regardless of that, like, because I know that plays a factor, but it's like, he's using this cop-out excuse that I keep seeing from people where they're like, oh, I'm just doing my research. No, you're fucking not. You're just not. You're just waiting and hoping that, like, the tide will go past and you don't have to end up doing any of this shit. And it's like, that's fine, but if you're in a public arena, which, being an NBA player, you are, and this is your job and they're paying you millions and millions and millions of dollars a year to do this shit, you have access to all the medical staff that you could possibly get your hands on. You can get the fucking information that you need on this vaccine. So given that, I would much rather you come out and say, no, I don't want to because of what I've learned.
There's XYZ.
Yeah.
Or as like me, like I don't the shot does not cure it. So
whatever. Yeah. Like, come out and be a goddamn man and be definitive and be like, yo, I'm not getting it because of.
Right.
But if you come out with this half-ass, politically correct, ambiguous bullshit of like, oh, well, I'm just doing I'm just waiting for more research. Shut up. You're not doing anything. That's just a cop-out. Yeah. You have literally tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars in your bank account. You can find out anything you need to find out.
Absolutely.
And even at that, again, the Golden State Warriors brought in, so it wasn't even on your own fucking dime, asshole. Joe Lacoe brought in medical professionals to give you the information you were asking, the research you wanted, and it still didn't. They came out and said he didn't change his mind at all, which means you didn't go into it with the idea of changing your mind. So that's where I get frustrated. Is I'm like, these people are paying you millions of dollars, so retire then. Fucking retire. Because no, you shouldn't stay on the roster. If you're gonna take this stance, retire. Let the Warriors be able to vacate your contract. Like, the Warriors should be able to allow to vacate your contract if you're going to sit out this season.
But they can't because it's, again,
retire.
It's
no,
not
I'm saying
a
if he
mandate.
retires, then they can vacate the contract.
But to his point, like the NBA has been very good about keeping fans, public, however you want to say it, informed about when people test positive. Andrew Wiggins was one of those guys, so apparently, like, he's being responsible on his own, in his own accord. Like, would that also like factor in?
And yeah, and again, that's where I'm like 50-50 on it. Is like with all people, it's like,
he's not Lamar Jackson, who's had it twice.
Yeah, like Lamar Jackson is. But even at that, it's like I can't look at it that way and be like, oh, I also don't want to be making a political statement. But it's like I don't want to look at it that way and be like, oh, well, you know, if you're just being safe and you're being cautious, because we fucking tried that last year. The whole world tried let's just, you know, social dip, but people don't. You can slip up one time. All you have to do is slip up one time. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, it's like everything gets blown up. So it's like, make a choice. Either take the preventative measures that they're asking you to do or quit. It's like, because if it was any other job, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
But that's any other job is the problem.
As Amazon is, you know, I think I'm not going to say Amazon, but let's say an Amazon mandated it. Because I, you know, and looking at jobs, it's like, yo, you want to come work here, you have to be fully vaccinated.
Right.
If you work there, get fully vaccinated or quit.
Right.
So I feel like it's the same thing with Andrew Wiggins. We shouldn't get penalized as a team. We shouldn't get penalized as a team because you want to be selfish.
But that's where the issue comes into play. Like, my employer isn't there. They don't have that mandate.
But the bigger employer is the NBA, which I know doesn't have the mandate. I know that. But it's like, and that's where it's a bit of a, it's a very touch and go issue, and that's where it's like a bit frustrating to talk about. And then so the fuck is talking about Ben Simmons. You want to talk about touch and go as well? It's like,
please just go.
Yeah,
please go.
I feel like if you knew you felt that way, you knew that you wanted out of Philly, why would you basically go on a self-sabotage campaign for the last few months and then wait until you've so soured the waters and then be like, I'm demanding a trade now? Like Deshaun Watson, maybe he knew, it's less I'm gonna say his ass's name, but it's like maybe he knew this shit was coming down the pipeline, so that's why he demanded a trade. He's like, let me get the fuck out of here before shit hits the fan. Let me get this new contract. Ben Simmons, what are you doing? Why are you being an asshole now?
Apparently that's what it was. Apparently, I guess behind the scenes, he requested a trade and then is now just making it public since they've been unable to find trade partners, which I think still is going to take at least a 3-team trade, and it's going to take him making sacrifices and concessions as to where he wants to play. But my focus isn't even Ben Simmons. My focus is on the bigger thing of, I have an issue with guys because Ben Simmons has time left on his contract.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis could have been a free agent following the summer. I get that. But bro, if you have time, James Harden had
4 years left.
Yeah, James Harden had years on his contract, forced his way out of Houston. I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
Like, bro, if you got years, don't.
Why'd you re-up?
Why'd you re-up? Or at least keep it private. Like, don't come. You know, we'll do what we can. If we can't, I'll come to you like, bro, we can't do it. And honestly, you here. Like, let's try to hash it out. Just don't be, because if you go public, now I'm really, you know, after you, because you're killing your value.
And get that too. It's like, do you understand how, like, why we signed you to this massive contract? Wasn't for shits and giggles, Ben. It was because we thought you were staying here. We had no intentions on trading you, or we would have fucking traded you, not signed you to a supermax extension. And now 1 year into it, you want out? Yeah. Where the fuck? just think about it, Ben Simmons. I know you're from down under, and maybe the currency's a bit different down there. But dude, dollars and fucking cents is what we use over here, and it's like, you just signed a $200 million contract. Where the fuck am I going to offload that to?
I'd like to
see. What other team am I going to offload that to, bro?
I'd like to see the NBA and the Players Union, which would never happen, but I would love to see it, make this agreement. Okay, players are allowed to do that. If you publicly demand a trade, and the team is willing, like, okay, we can cut you, and you can forfeit the rest of your contract.
Yeah.
However, the next contract that you sign cannot be a max deal.
That'd be interesting. I would honestly
How
just
bad you want to leave now?
I'd actually just want to go with that first part. Like,
you can be free. No, because then you get rewarded. You get rewarded for it. If I'm just cut you and team's not liable for the money, I don't get the money. Somebody else is going to give it to me. No,
Maybe.
Sacrifice that money. You don't get another max deal.
Maybe, and I would like that more. Maybe
the most you can sign for is say like 30% of what your salary was.
I guarantee you right now, there's not a team in the NBA that if Ben Simmons was a free agent, signed him to a max deal.
Absolutely.
There's no one to sign them to. I wouldn't even say they'd give him $30 million a year. Fuck 40 or 50 million. Like, they ain't giving him $30 million.
No, somebody would. Absolutely.
Not after all this shit.
Somebody would.
But that's what I'd like to see. I like that part. You sign a $200 million contract, 5 years extension, whatever. You demand a trade the next year. Yeah, you dropping that other $160 million. Like, you ain't gonna get to go to another team and I'm still paying you, or someone's still paying that. I'm like, no, you want out. You no longer want. You want to break this contract because that's what you're doing. You want to break the lease. Yeah, go. I'm gonna need my security deposit back, bitch. That's how I feel about that. Any final thoughts for the people?
Playoff Panthers 3-0, and they get not really a bye week, but a very favorable matchup coming up. So they could potentially be 4-0.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, this has been episode 9 of the Next Man Up Sports Podcast. If you guys enjoyed this episode, I know I did. I know he did. If y'all at home did, please hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you get alerts when the videos are live.
Yes, sir.
You can catch us anywhere. We'll be here again on Tuesday with a whole new episode. It'll be episode number 10. Quick shout out from me. This is the 1 month anniversary of our first official show.
There you go.
I want to thank y'all for that, because if it wasn't for you guys tuning in, liking our content, and continuing to give us feedback, we don't know if we'd have got to this point. We'd have done it anyway. Fuck them. But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Again, it's been episode 9 of the Next Man Up Sports Podcast. My name is Shaka. This is my man, Bobby G. We will catch y'all in the next one. Let's get them out of here.
Peace.